Okay, I'm going to move on to part two, which is, I'm going to say, is a CMO or CDMO use case. These are organizations, the growth of that particular segment of the industry is about 12% per year, and is expected to do that for the next 5 years or so. Major life sciences companies may have tens or even hundreds of different CMO providers. One data point, Pfizer presented last year that they had about 300 different organizations that they work with. The need for data exchange on production lots is a requirement, or remains a challenge for the industry. I guess, can we comment on the state of that, the current state of that industry, the technology used to perform those kind of exchange, the kind of technologies that are employed to exchange that information, and how we see that evolving in the future?
I think to answer your question, the current state, so first of all, the need for visibility. So if I'm the sponsor, I'm the molecule owner, I have the responsibility for was the production process always in control? That's my obligation to the regulator like FDA, right? Which means the need for visibility to be able to prove that you were always in a state of control is very high. We hear it from, it's probably at the very high priority list for all. As just like you said, I think more and more manufacturers are moving towards CMO, CDMO models, particularly CMO models. The state of data sharing right now, at least what we hear, is very bad, is very poor. The need is very high. And I agree with Gopal in that right now, if both the CDMO or CMO and the sponsor both had the same system, same version, then data exchange is easy, but that's hardly ever the case. So I think the desired state is if we start to look at, particularly if we're going to now use more cloud-based technologies, more open data systems, more universal data systems, I think we should expect that universal data exchange should become much easier, and it should not matter. So the CMO may have a different control system or a different data system than the sponsor. You should be able to move to that state. The big part is, I think, in my view, because if you look at where does the need come from, the need comes from your ability to prove to the regulator as the molecule owner that the product was made the way it was supposed to, right? You were always in a state of control. So I think what we really need to move towards is move from, is it really the need for data exchange, or is it the need for information exchange? So it's really the information exchange that's needed, as in, if you had a control limit violation, right, or the points in the production process where you're supposed to record certain things, that the information is reported, and if it can be reported with more open universal data standards, I think that's the ideal state that's required.